what's going to happen in 2026, Sadie. I believe that like last year, you have 5 categories for us.
I do. I have 5 themes, and it's not 2025, but oh well, here we are. So number one, I think we're gonna see again. I know we're going to AGI, and this is gonna make it sound like we're going back to narrow AI, but I think more like specialized industry models, like AlphaFold. So I think we've reached the limit for now until we build out some of these hyperscaler clusters, but really the limit on data for training these like general purpose models. And back to your comment on why we see agents and LLMs do so well in coding is because we can actually measure it and see that it works. We need to have more specialized models for particular domains and then have domain experts evaluate those. And so I think we're going to start to see more development of specialized models for particular domains. And you could think of them as like mini models. But the way I think of it is like we have human intelligence, right? And there's like a general intelligence that we all have that get us through day to day life. And then we have people who go and get PhDs in particular areas or just are savants at a particular area. And I think that while for some reason nature has selected that path for us, that we each have our own specialization, I think we'll start to see that happen now in model development as well. And so I'm interested to see how this unfolds, but I think that's how we're going to make progress, is getting more specialized, kind of like expect more AlphaFold moments in particular domains.
Nice. I like that. And it is interesting that you bring up the AlphaFold example. It may not be coincidental, but that is an example of, while very narrow, artificial superintelligence. Because it's a humans, no matter how hard we try, you can't look at a sequence of amino acids and predict what a 3-dimensional protein will look like. We just can't do it. But AlphaFold can. Not for every kind of protein, but for, a very broad range of proteins with remarkable accuracy. And so artificial superintelligence, so these kinds of very specialized industry models could become more and more prominent. We could see more and more examples like AlphaFold where, in these very narrow niches, a machine vastly outperforms human intelligence capabilities.
But think about it, how do we get to like an overall general superintelligence? Probably by combining these mini models of particular domains together to get there. But right now, one of the hardest things about some of these general intelligence models is really being able to test them fully in their subdomain. And so I think that it's just splitting it up. Maybe half of it is the training, and then half of it is the testing in a way that we can actually evaluate them more properly. So
Nice. Makes a lot of sense, Sadie. All right. What's number 2?
number two is continual and nested learning in models. So this is a new paper that just came out from Google. It is called nested learning, hence the prediction from it. Again, but back to Google being hot this year and last year and coming back with some of their research. I'm really interested in this paper because one of the issues that we have today is we train a model and other than it remembering what's in our context window, it's not continuing to update and learn for me. And so nested learning is a way to bypass that and get around it. And so I think we're going to see a lot more progress in this space with how do we get models to continue to update and continue to learn, because that's what makes humans really great about being able to learn and grow, and what makes our intelligence so strong. So why wouldn't we want that in a model as well?
Makes a lot of sense. Really big innovation there. Yeah, that continuous learning is a big gap in most of the, certainly all of the big LLMs from the frontier labs. They don't continuously learn. It's a huge exercise. And that is a function of biological intelligence, is continuous learning. So pretty cool. I like that one a lot. What's your number 3 prediction for 2026, Sadie?
Number three, and it's my bias is coming in, but we're going to get back to research. So I don't think that any lab right now, any frontier lab, has a clear path for what is going to be our next big breakthrough in AI. Again, back to my comment earlier, before we kind of saw the roadmap, oh, wait till we get a model that's multimodal. wait till GPT-5 comes out. I don't hear anybody talking about GPT-6. I don't hear anybody really talking about like what's the next thing they're really waiting for from an AI model. And I think that we have to get back into labs to discover it. And I think we're waiting to have a clearer picture of what that may or may not look like. And a lot of this comes from the recent interview with Ilya on the Darkesh podcast, and just his estimates too that there's still a lot of labs that don't know exactly what that path forward looks like. And I think that we're going to run into some limitations with some of the hyperscalers, not necessarily from a compute standpoint, but from a data availability standpoint. And so it's time to get creative and get back to research. And I think is really just an exciting time because it means that new ideas are welcome. And so it's a good time to be in the space.
All right. Number 4. Sadie, what is it?
Yeah, so I know there's been a lot of talk about robotics, and I keep saying this prediction that I think
You bought a Neo
2027.
robot, didn't you?
Yes, so it's supposed to come in 2026. I don't have a date, but I know this year when this episode comes out. So I'm very excited to take my robot for a walk. um,
Wild.
but I don't think that 2026 will be the year of the robot. I still am standing true to what I say, which is 2027 will be the year of the robot. But I do believe we will see more physical AI and spatial intelligence, and particularly spatial intelligence, because I think we need to branch off into new data sets. And so, things like world labs and simulation of environments, right? I think that's going to be a new playground that we're going to explore as a new data set. And so, really looking at of like, how do we bridge the gap between real physical AI and getting a robot to work in space. Again, this is where the continual learning will come into with these models as well, right? Because when you go into a 3D environment, you're encountering a lot of things that, as all of us know, with driving or walking and different things that we have to continually update our model for. And so I see physical AI, spatial intelligence being a space that will be really popular, but mainly from the standpoint of just helping us to collect new and harder data that we don't have today that can finally help bring our AIs into the world and really start to expand the use of these models.
5th and final prediction for 2026. Sadie, what is it?
Yes, drum roll, please. And I love to bring it to practical application for work, which is what will be the kind of new hot trending job. And I think we're going to start to see AI ops become a thing. So AI operations, think of this as like how are somebody who manages the GPU management, model orchestration, right? Agent reliability, thinking about think of it from a like a function of DevOps in 2010 to, the AI ops of 2025, 26 era. And so I think this is a job description that we'll start to see pop up. I don't know if it would be what I call the most popular one, but I think it's going to be a new trend that we'll see emerge here in 2026.